Now moving on. Here's the one I want to get to. She left McDonald's for the IRS job in Kansas City. Trump firings made her feel like a piece of trash. Now she looks very unhappy from her picture, so something must have gone very, very badly for her. She looks like she could be Peter Griffin's sister as I'm looking at this, but that matters not. She looks very, very unhappy. And I'm not going to read this whole article. It is rather lengthy, but I have printed it out and I have highlighted some portions of it that I would like to read to you so we can know a little bit more about this woman. And her name is Kelly McLaughlin, and she is a former IRS worker at the Kansas City office and was fired as part of cuts to the federal workforce implemented by the Trump administration. Now, just reading that and looking at her very angry picture, I feel sorry for her because she lost her job. But maybe we should dig a little deeper and learn a little bit more about Kelly before we start to feel too sorry for her. So let me continue reading this. Kelly McLaughlin loved working for the Internal Revenue Service in Kansas City. She enjoyed her coworkers. She didn't even mind waking up at 3 a.m. for the commute from her home in St. Joseph. I gotta tell you, 3 a.m., that is pretty freaking early. Anyway, quote, I really enjoyed serving for the federal government, McLaughlin said. Quote, and then I just get hit, wham, with, hey, you're not important anymore. Let's throw you away like a piece of trash. Little bitter, are we, Kelly? Don't blame you. Being fired is no picnic. McLaughlin was fired in February, one of roughly 100 terminations at the IRS campus in Kansas City. McLaughlin, 43, was a mere 3 weeks away from exiting her probationary period as a tax examining clerk after joining the IRS in March 2024. All of the fired workers were probationary, meaning the workers had been with the IRS for 1 or 2 years depending upon the position. If the firings had come just a month later, she likely would still have a job. Well, that is very unfortunate timing for Kelly. Quote, I just felt betrayed, McLaughlin said. Why do I have such a hard time pronouncing her name? Quote, we didn't do anything wrong. I never did anything wrong. I did a lot of work for them. Let's learn a little more about her. Before joining the agency, Kelly worked for 24 years at McDonald's. She had been a general manager, essentially overseeing a restaurant. McLaughlin took a pay cut when she took the job at the IRS, a position that paid under $40,000 a year, but the role offered her the kind of job she wanted. At McDonald's, she had to interact with customers. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. At the IRS, she didn't. Okay, I'm seeing where you're going. Definitely sounds like a better job. At McDonald's, she was judged on both the restaurant's performance as well as her own. At the IRS, she was judged solely based on her own abilities and work. Okay. And she had great colleagues. I bet. In late August, McLaughlin was injured in a traffic accident when a bus rear-ended her vehicle after she made a sudden stop because of another accident ahead on the road. She broke 2 bones in her back, her ankle, and her wrist. She stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, followed by 26 days of rehabilitation. That really does suck. Quote, the IRS, I hadn't been there that long, and they were really sweet about making sure I was okay, McLaughlin said. They sent messages, they called me. These were the people I worked with. Wow, they just sound like the salt of the earth. Really, they do. The day McLaughlin was fired, February 20th, I skipped over an important part here. Her coworkers were the kind of colleagues who decorated desks for birthdays. Oh, isn't that fun? Once a month, they would bring back Jack Stack barbecue for lunch. Well, isn't that a treat? Jack Stack barbecue. I've never had it, but it sounds delicious. Anyway, those are the kind of colleagues she worked with. Fantastic. The day McLaughlin was fired, February 20th, managers were crying as employees were terminated, she said. That must have been a sad scene. McLaughlin, you know what? I think I'm being far too flippant and sarcastic in all of this. I should not be taking any pleasure in a woman being terminated. And I don't condone my own behavior right here. But let me continue. McLaughlin had arrived at 6 a.m. that day as usual. But then she and many of her co-workers were just made to sit for the entirety of their shift. Well, that's odd. Basically doing nothing as others continued with their work. So you're just sitting there. Nobody's telling you anything. You're not allowed to work. Everyone else is working. Had to be some things going through your mind. Everyone knew what was coming. Lots of tears. McLaughlin was escorted off the campus at the end of the shift without so much as a termination letter. That would arrive later in the mail. They really do treat you like garbage, don't they? You work there, you love it, you got the birthday cakes and the Jack Stack barbecue, and you decorate the desks. And then you show up at work one day and you're just treated like garbage. They sit you there, they don't tell you anything, and then you're escorted off the property. That's humiliating. The letter stated bluntly that the IRS found, quote, your continued employment at the agency is not in the public interest. A little harsh. Uh-oh. This article's taken a turn for the worse. Bear with me here. McLaughlin voted for Trump. Ooh. Yeah, you knew that was coming, didn't you? She voted for Trump. She blames Musk. Of course. It can't be Trump's fault. He would never do this to me. She blames Musk, who is from South Africa and the world's richest person, for the current chaos. It's all Musk's fault. Quote, Trump is not the issue. So here she is. She gets fired. She quits her better paying job at McDonald's to take this job, which is obviously quite the commute. She gets up at 3 a.m. She's been working on the job almost a year. And she doesn't blame Trump. Trump is not the issue. I think Elon Musk is puppeteering a lot of it, McLaughlin said. If he'd stay out of this stuff, I think we would be fine. I mean, Trump was fine before. I didn't have any problems before, but all of a sudden, he's acting like he's being a puppet to this man that's not even from the United States. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Ouch. Okay, so any sympathy that I was trying to muster up until this point, and let's face it, I wasn't trying all that hard, that's all gone. No sympathy for this woman. And let's keep her in our thoughts. There she is. Angry little Kelly. Very, very bitter. But, as we have found out, not angry at Donald Trump. She's angry at Elon Musk. She says that that he is puppeteering Trump. So, Trump is a puppet, I guess? What did she say? Trump was fine before. I didn't have any problems before, but all of a sudden he's acting like he's being a puppet to this man that's not even from the United States. Wait till she hears about Vladimir Putin. she's going to be really upset. Actually, she probably won't be upset because she's obviously a Trump cultist, and these Trump cultists have been programmed to love Vladimir Putin. But for some reason, not necessarily programmed to love Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the scapegoat. It allows them to be angry and to channel their anger towards a person, but it allows them not to be angry at Donald Trump. So it provides the release of being angry at someone and not having to blame Donald Trump. Kelly, you didn't have any problem with Donald Trump before, you say here. Trump's not the issue. I think, what would he say? Trump was fine before. I didn't have any problems before, but all of a sudden, Kelly, if you had actually paid attention before, maybe you wouldn't have put so much faith in Donald Trump. And maybe you wouldn't have voted for the guy who fired you. Now, I know you're mad at Elon Musk and not your Orange God King. I understand that. You're in a cult. You're trying to come to terms with all of this. There's got to be some sort of questioning in your mind, however, because on the one hand, Donald Trump is the alpha male, yet on the other hand, you're saying that he's allowed himself to be a puppet to this man who's not even from the United States. Well, being a puppet is not really consistent with being an alpha male. So I say there's got to be some internal conflict going on with you. Maybe that's the reason you look so bitter and angry. All right, maybe that's the face of a woman who really kind of knows that her Orange God King isn't quite who she believed that he was, and has some inner turmoil. I don't know. Or maybe you just smelled something really bad before they snapped this picture. I don't know what's going on with Kelly. But the point is, she really should have known. She had plenty of opportunity to see the way he treats other people. She sees all the crimes he's committed, the rapes, the fraud, all of it. It was all there for Kelly to see. Now, I don't know if how much she was really aware of any of that stuff, because if she's like most of these Trump cultists, they live in an information bubble where that information doesn't actually penetrate, and she's just probably immersed herself in nonstop Trump propaganda 24 hours a day. And so she wouldn't know any of that, but you know what? I'm not going to let you use that as an excuse. Because at the end of the day, you chose to put yourself inside of an information bubble. I mean, we all could do that. We can all construct an information bubble for ourselves. We could all watch Fox News. It's on my cable. I wish it wasn't. It pisses me off that I have to pay for Fox News. Nevertheless, I could watch it. I just don't, because I recognize it for what it is. It's bullshit Trump propaganda. And so I choose not to listen to obvious lies. You, on the other hand, made a different choice. And choices have consequences. You chose to be ignorant. You chose to be part of a cult. And you chose to vote for a criminal, a man who's been found liable for fraud, whose company is found criminally liable for fraud, actually convicted in New York of massive fraud, and on and on and on. We've known everything. Yet you chose to vote for him. And now you're suffering the consequences. Because now you don't have your IRS job. You don't have any benefits. You lost all of those. You don't have your McDonald's job anymore. Maybe they'll take you back. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe. And again, I see the inner conflict within you. Maybe. But if so, maybe you will learn from this mistake. It's cost you a lot. And I really hope you do learn from this mistake. But I don't have much hope that you will. But anyways, as a lot of people are coming to learn, if you fuck around, you end up finding out. And Kelly, you're in the find out phase. So, thoughts and prayers.